At the sound of the Mountain Dew opening, the time is 12:56 a.m. on the west coast of the United States. It's 0856 GMT on Monday. It is Nerd News Monday on cBasAfterDark. Now, am I late? Yes, I am. Am I late for my own goddamn show? Yes, I am. Are you about to find out why? Yes, you are. The reason why, one of the reasons why, is copying to my desktop right now. The other reason, this puppy, the Samsung Gear VR. There are many games that I'll be talking about tonight. There are many other functionalities that I've talked about before, but have played with more over the weekend. And then there are the mundane functionalities, which were the reason I got distracted tonight. Tonight I was watching Netflix on my goggles. Netflix through these puppies. Yes? And you put your phone up against it, the app converts it to two little windows next to each other, and then you have kind of almost your own IMAX screen, in a way, right around your eyes. And your eyes do a damn good job of sort of converging the two images, and you end up seeing something that's in many cases 3D, like surround virtual reality. It's pretty cool. It's very impressive. It's remarkable in a lot of ways. The sort of just... what do we say, like the experience apps, right? Where you're just sitting there and there's horses going by, or buffalo, or, a bear comes up and sniffs the camera, right, and gets right up to you, Those like nature immersive experiences are one thing I've seen a lot. One of them appears to be like an expensive apartment viewer. So for people who can't afford an expensive apartment, good old Associated Press has taken high-res 360 3D photos on an 11 lens camera and has then sent the results to me. There are also games, and there appear to be attempts at social interaction apps. Now, that's what's really weird. The social interaction app that I have played with turns you into a little alien head of your choosing, and you're kind of in 5 seats in a semicircle, and there's a screen in front of you all. And this is the virtual reality chat. And if you have earbuds in and a microphone, you can actually talk to these people. And you can look around, and your head movements are mimicked by your avatar. And you can talk to other people who have the same device and are using the same platform. It's really quite something, very cool. The reason, however, that I was late was, as I said, I was watching Netflix on the goggles. Got completely distracted, got hungry, and then realized, oh, yes, I must... What have I done? I must make some food. So I made some eggs. And then as I'm making the eggs, I look at the clock, and I'm like, oh my God, it is after midnight. I have been late for my show for about 30 minutes now, and this is not good. Oops. Well, shit. One moment, please. Everyone, just one moment, please. I want to be able to do this. Here we go. And then copy. Can I copy? No. Can we just loop it? That's what I would like to do, is just loop it. Windows Media Player cannot play the file. You suck. You suck so bad. All right. Well, here's what was supposed to happen. But it says you can't play the other one also. That's wrong. Like, something's wrong. What kind of file is this? I made graphics for this show. It's an MOV file. And the other After Dark file is not an MOV file. Oh, it's not there anymore. It is down here, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay, I have moved it. Sorry for just completely spacing off. I had graphics. Graphics similar to these, celebrating the night's topic, which is Nerd News Monday. Now, I spent a long time rendering them. I actually worked really hard on doing like a different night, different graphic for each night. And The game show one is my favorite. I'm still working on it, actually. But Nerd News Monday is completed, but not converted. I did not have the ability to create the final file that I need, and so we will not be enjoying my Nerd News Monday graphics here, even though they were super cool. Had the moon, had the Starship Enterprise, everything. Oh god, that's disappointing. Do I have anything that can play that file? Can this converter do it? If this converter can do it, that's what we're going to do. Here's what I wanted to talk about today. The X-Files. Of course, the new episode has not yet aired because now Nerd News Monday comes before X-Files on Monday. So that'll have to wait till tomorrow's show. The Samsung Gear, I had more to talk about as far as the goggles are concerned. My SoundShine speakers are another topic I wanted to talk about. I have these Bluetooth speakers that I love very much. Let's just see here. Just give me a mo. Oh dear. Okay. I can't move these goddamn windows. Which format should I choose? Let's say MP4. Oh no, it's putting it here, I guess. Is it converting? Is it? Oh, I see. We have to click run. Use high quality engine. Well, that sounds like a good thing to do. And then I will just have it put it on the desktop. Oh, can't. Okay. Wait, 5, 4, 3, 2. I'm not going to buy this software yet, although maybe I should. I will plug it though. The Mac X HD Video Converter Pro for Windows. Once again, the Mac X HD Video Converter Pro for Windows. Really hoping to see this bar start to grow. Okay, there we go. Yes, so that's what I spent the day doing. I'm kind of in the middle of my day off from work. Turned out today to be like 36 hours off or something like that. Like I have a little extra time off continuously. And so I did a lot of graphics and I had a lot of fun. I built what I call a pre-roll for my class, which is something, again, similar to this. However, I'll even show it to you. It is to play prior to the beginning of any of my English classes. And what it looks like is this. The other thing I did in addition to those graphics were graphics for this sort of application. And today, actually, the 1st of February is the day I get to debut them for my students. However, my only students are my classes tonight at 10 p.m. California time, which is actually technically 1 a.m. East Coast time. Well, this is just not going to play, is it? There we go. Okay. I started off with a test pattern, and then what I try to do, I should be patient with it. It is converting video for me after all. So I have test pattern that says 1 moment please, and then the following plays like kind of right before the class begins, right? So I try to put the really important words in as many languages as possible. I now have students from Turkey as well as possibly Vietnam and any of the Latin American countries, the Spanish-speaking or Portuguese-speaking countries. This is not a real clock countdown, but it did seem to convey the intended effect. I couldn't figure out how to make a real clock countdown in Final Cut Pro, and I wasn't that interested in having it be an actual seconds and minutes countdown, more of a, you know, the clock, we're aware the clock is ticking, but we're not really looking at it too closely kind of a thing. You know, it shows me and all of the good stuff, and then I try to tell them about their microphones. Please make sure your microphone is on, and please turn off your microphone if you are not speaking. Thank you, in Espanol. Then, same message in Portuguese. Por favor, certifique-se de seu microfone está ligado e por favor desligue seu microfone se você não estiver falando. Obrigado. And then I can't even begin to sort of try to read this one. Biz beer on Baslayakak. But anyway, I had a lot of fun doing a lot of graphics, and I finally get to debut some of them. And in fact, one of the ones I wanted to debut was the Nerd News Monday graphic. I made stuff for Valentine's Day, I made stuff for Leap Year, but the graphic here is the one I want. And so the graphic here is the one I got. Where is it? Am I losing my freaking mind? Didn't I tell it? Oh no, I couldn't change it, could I? That's right. All right. I am stark raving mad. Let's see. Okay. There it is. And I want the one that says After Dark Nerd News 2 here. And of course it has to move it to the desktop. And now I can put this here, and then here, and then here, and then here. Excellent. So let's try this now. Yeah, baby. Well, it only took me, being an hour late for my show, and what's interesting is I don't see how long the show has been on in this window. I know I started about 5 minutes to the top of the hour, so I guess we've been on for about 13 minutes now. But hey, Nerd News Monday, right? I'm really proud of these graphics. I just used the same motif as the cBas logo for cBas After Dark. It's totally raining outside, by the way, so it's interesting to kind of be quiet occasionally and listen. That's what got me out of the actual VR goggles in the first place. I was watching the VR goggles. I figured out that it's actually an awful lot of fun to wear them without contacts or glasses because it can correct for my bad vision. And I was watching the first 2 episodes of Scrubs. And then I'm like, what is that sound I'm hearing? It sounds like, an airplane is flying overhead or something like that. And it's like, nope, an airplane was not flying overhead, but in fact, wind and rain were kind of severe. So it was interesting. That's what got me up and thinking, well, I should make eggs. And then I made eggs. And then I looked at the clock and then I'm like, oh shit, I was going to do a fucking show. There's the name of the show. Yeah, it's kind of a mellow night since I fucked up so bad, but we will go ahead and talk about the things I wanted to talk about. My SoundShine speakers. Let me get one for you here. It's going to make it a little darker, but that's okay. Okay. It got darker because this was one of the lights that was on a few moments ago. I think the company is called Ion. I think the product is called SoundShine. That's what it says here anyway. There's a switch here on the side. It can be left, mono, or right. And then as you see, is 10 LEDs around here and then a speaker in the middle. So, and it comes in a pair. So you can adjust the lights. I believe you've seen me adjust the lights by my telephone before, but let's just do it again since we're talking about it now. And I'm always happy for an opportunity to make my little digital tricks, dip into my digital bag of tricks, I guess I should say. Even if it takes a second, which it does. See? I can actually... All right, anyway. as I said, it comes in a pair of these, right? I have one over there and one here, which is usually over there. Now, here's what I learned after a long time of playing with these devices. They are made to be able to work either independently or in unison. In other words, you can switch this switch to left, you can switch that switch to right, and then if you connect them the right way, they can be the left channel and the right channel of any stereo Bluetooth signal. No problem, right? Except that it was the touchiest. I'm not sure if it's the software or firmware or whatever the hell kind of wear it was, but I can tell you that every time a video came to an end in Windows Messenger, Windows Media Player, or YouTube, every time a video ended, whether it was 5 seconds long or 15 minutes long, the speakers would disconnect. Think about what a what a train wreck that was. That was a real train wreck, and it got worse and worse. Like, I was really trying to wrestle with it, using it with the device I'm using to broadcast this. I've used it now successfully for a month or so with this computer. What I finally had to do was try to get rid of the notion that I was going to be able to use them as stereo speakers left and right, and instead use them as two independent speakers, one for my phone and one for my computer, both on kind of left-right monoized monoized stereo, right? And ever since then, it has been incredibly solid. Now, it's one of the Trekkie nerds in the Trekkie chat room that was saying that it's stuff like that Bluetooth achiness that's really, ruins an otherwise really awesome product, which is true. These are a really awesome products. And by the way, no power to these speakers or lights except what it gets through the regular light socket screw-in ghillie. Let me put it back. When I put it back, it will come in at full brightness. There we go. And they're LED lights. They're good for the environment. They're low energy usage. I could actually control the brightness of that one too. However, it require me to fiddle around and switch things, and I don't want to do that. I do instead want to look at my lovely graphics and tell you that we're going to talk about some nerd news stories that I dug up tonight, just to make nerd news a little better. Now, so far, the show has been awful, so I'm a little bit hesitant to even bother. I feel like I should save these nerd news stories for a more worthy program. Sometimes I have really good shows, and then sometimes I do not. And tonight, sadly, it's not one of the good shows, but we will talk about the news stories I wanted to talk about. First, the Huffington Post did a story on the 7 cutting-edge science innovations of the year that'll change the world. Okay. I felt like this is a good place to start. I want to look back at that graphic, because I have the Enterprise going by and a beam being shot at Monday. And it goes behind Nerd News and in front of Monday. Okay, I buy it, When I was trying to create this animation, I found it very challenging. And more challenging than I was really prepared for, because the Enterprise was a last-minute thought in the first place. And I thought, okay, well, I will try to have the Enterprise shoot a blast of a phaser beam and then an explosion, because I can make explosions, no problem. It was the phaser beam being aligned properly that was giving me the issue. But ultimately I did it, and ultimately looking at it now after several hours having gone by, I'm pretty happy with my ability to animate that stuff. 7 cutting-edge innovations that will change the world. This is Huffington Business, not a paid website. CRISPR, gene editing technology that is in its infancy, but the great potential is to incite a revolution. The changing out, editing in, and altering genes will be an achievable science. Okay. CRISPR. I've never really heard of it. It's kind of right up there with Tinder and Grindr as far as the way the name sounds. CRISPR, okay. We should look more at that. Synbio, take me to the stars. If engineering and biology got married, they would be called Synbio. Synbio, short for synthetic biology, is the design and construction of new biological parts, devices, and systems, and the redesign of existing natural biological systems. In other words, everything from prosthetic limbs, I guess, to carbon absorption. Blockchain, the crypto future of money. The blockchain is the secret sauce, the technology behind Bitcoin. Okay, blockchain is how we got Bitcoin, which I really still don't understand, except that it's some kind of online currency that is above the grid of the regular economic systems, I guess. I don't know. IoT, the Internet of Smart Things, or when things wake up. When things wake up and become smart, aware of each other, and can communicate with each other and us, you have a different world. We may have 20 billion things connected by 2020. It's coming faster than you may see. Smart things can pay attention to what we need and want. They can monitor, sense, protect, transact, communicate, and share info that could enhance the quality of our lives and well-being. Smart cities, smart lights, smart cars, smart everything. OpenAI, deep learning and smart machine futures. Okay, Elon Musk has seen the future of artificial intelligence, good, bad, and ugly. He's concerned that we could have a runaway AI. Blah blah blah. I would bet this is a certainty someday. So preparing for this future makes sense. Given that there's over 10 billion currently being spent on AI R&D by the big tech companies like Apple, IBM, Microsoft, Google, governments, we need an open AI strategy to level the playing field. I can see conservatives not liking that. It makes me happy. Big data analytics, building the predictive organization. Okay, and geoengineering the planet. This was a much less sort of dazzling. About 6 months ago, we did a show on here where I kind of stumbled into it, frankly, and wished I had planned it, but I didn't. It was like the, I think it was like a university contest for the most cutting edge. But no, it was like an online voting between, you know, A and B, C and D, E and F, G and H, you know, and then each of those pairs would go up against for the top, like scientific, you know, out of the box random idea kind of a thing. And it was super cool. Like, I mean, reading about those things was mind boggling and spectacular and exciting all at the same time. This just made me kind of want to die. So let's move on. We did mention OpenAI, deep learning. Well, Google is going to offer computer programmers a chance to actually take a free class. Udacity is their education website, and they're going to have a course designed to help programmers take their game to the next level, develop the skills they need to be successful. It will focus on deep learning, which Google uses in products like its Photos app. I'm sorry, my hair's driving me crazy here. Deep learning uses various layers of neural networks to analyze and interpret data sets. For example, in the Photos app, deep learning helps users by automatically categorizing photos based on the objects in them. To take this free course, you need to have a background in programming, otherwise the concepts will likely be too advanced to understand. Now, here's the thing. I will say freely, I'm not a computer programmer, because I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know people who are computer programmers, and to even go anywhere near calling myself anything close to what they do would be an affront and an insult and everything else. But at the same time, I know my way around computers. I can do certain very basic coding of certain types. Like, I built that Flash game, which again was a generator. You know, I didn't really build much except go into these files and change these lines of text. But in a way, you know, you could argue I was doing some limited coding. Again, I don't call myself a programmer. Most of the work I did in my philosophy degree in the early parts of my university days were artificial intelligence, like concepts and research and theory and all of that. So I wonder if I would have enough background or not to take this course. The reason for me going through all of that is I'm going to try. I'm going to try to do it here on the show and let you kind of keep up. Because why not? I do want to try and get into some kind of tech app, software, writing or building or developing. I feel like you try and look at the future, try and see what's coming next. And it's like, you know what, what's next is not journalism, at least not in any of the ways I want to do it. What's really coming next as far as rich people is biomedical research, pharmaceutical shit, and apps, platform apps, Android apps, iOS apps, Macintosh apps, Windows apps, you know, all that stuff, all different kinds of apps. And like I said, I have some theoretical background in artificial intelligence and, you know, machine learning. I've written myself a Turing machine or two in my day. So I don't know, free online class. I like it's a free course. You can, once enrolled, students can plan on attending for 3 months with a workload of around 6 hours per week. The course structure has 4 main lessons that teach the concepts of deep learning and allow students to experiment with building their own models. The course is online, which means there are no set times when students need to be in class. That I love. You can enroll and complete the assignments at your own pace. No official credit hours are awarded. The course is simply intended to help students develop their skills. I took a Stanford University Artificial Intelligence course back in the radio days, like 2012 or 2011 or something. Again, no official credit, just sort of a little certificate of completion, whatever it was. So you're going to get to go along with me here, for better or for worse. By the way, you can call this number, text this phone number, whether I'm live, which is 1:23 a.m. now on the West Coast, 9:23 in London. The show is late going up. I apologize for that. I was too distracted by my new toy. Why is my hair all messed up? Why are my glasses all screwed up? Why do I have a sore and red irritated nose area right here? Yeah, it's because of this. This is one of the greatest gadgets I've ever bought. And again, the only reason it works is because I have the phone that I have. And I'm able to engage my 3-dimensional world. And it's badass. I really like it. I realize that I have no ability to share it with you. I mean, unless there are videos on YouTube or something demonstrating it. But again, the effect will be lost because you're going from kind of 3D to 2D. Let me plug in the phone. Okay, the phone plugs into the USB and then kind of locks into place. Now the phone's on the front of this. And I put it on like this. Okay, there's a health and safety warning that says, don't stand up or walk around. And then you've got the home menu. You can look all around. There's a very nice, like expensive sort of virtual reality beach house or house over the ocean kind of a thing. It's really amazing. Netflix is the last thing I was watching. There's Shooting Showdown. There's Action Bowling. There's the Oculus Social app, which I looked at before. I'm going to click that. Even though you can't see anything, I'm going to describe what I see. A little circle for loading for a moment. And then a very similar kind of house. Maybe even it's the same house, the Oculus sort of house. And there are several rooms, only one of which has a person in it. I'll try to click it. I think I may have clicked the wrong one. Yes, there is no one in this room. This is, you are the host of this room. You can control what is playing by selecting the screen and moderate by selecting an avatar. Do you want to leave the room? Yes. Okay. You can see me operating the controls here. I'm going to go into a room with a person, even though I cannot speak because I don't have headphones plugged in. There are 5 chairs surrounding me. Muted, no headphones. And it looks like there is nobody actually in here at all. You look up, you see kind of a starry thing. Down here, there's sort of a, like a projector. Intel Extreme Masters Taipei, StarCraft 2. You can literally watch like people's Twitch TV channels, which is them playing video games online for an audience, which is unfathomable to me. There are various movies and music videos. Most of what I've seen, frankly, has been a very, very, like, insanely disappointing collection of random shit. I would much rather just have YouTube than Vimeo. And then to exit, you just hit the exit button, and the great thing is push and hold exit for a second. Oh, a universal menu disabled. Press the back button once to leave the room. Do you want to leave the room? Yes. Okay. Now I can push and hold this and click pass through camera on. Aha. This is great because now, as you can see, I'm using the camera, which is here, and it's delivering the signal to the screen and then allowing me to see my own video camera as though I had a camera mode on my phone ready to take pictures. In this case, it's just letting me see. And yeah, it's pretty crazy, right? Pretty insane, if I do say so myself. But I can see my own graphics here. I have no depth perception. But I do like this gadget. And it did distract me to the point where I could not remember that I had this show tonight. And then to remove, you just take it off. You pop out the top latch and the phone releases. You gently lift it off the USB latch, and then you have your phone back. It is really something, I gotta tell you. Okay, hey, let's talk about testicles. It is about 28 minutes after the hour, so we're about halfway through the show. I promised you testicles, and testicles you shall have. Lab-grown testicles. It's a story from the past 24 hours in the military times. Wounded veterans. I know it would be nice, I guess, if injuries were limited to one part of the body or another, but they are not. When it comes to the IUDs of the soldiers, you know, injuries and so on, they're all types of injuries, emotional and other, physical, and of course testicles, while a sensitive area and while a sensitive topic, are no doubt a problem, right? And so they are able now to have prosthetic testicles. Now, anybody who's a Penn and Teller bullshit fan knows that prosthetic testicles have been around for a long time for pets. These are for people. But they're really realistic, and you'd never know it wasn't the real thing when you felt it through the, area. And this is a great article on militarytimes.com about pelvis and groin injuries and how they are now doing regenerative medicine and have been awarded a $75 million contract, in fact, Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center. I don't know if it shows testicles or not. There is some video here. Another major medical facility conducting cutting-edge research to help troops with devastating genitourinary injuries. Genitourinary. Printing skin cells. Can I hear?
Or increase the healing rate.
Let's back up a little bit.
What our goal is to actually develop a bioprinter that can deposit cells within a wound to enhance or increase the healing rate of that. One of those components is our scanner that we can use to scan the wound area. That information is then fed into the computer, which then takes that information, integrates it, and then feeds it back to the printer. And then here is the print head that will contain all of the cell solutions that are needed, and then that is printed directly into the bed.
That was a rough picture of that burned arm.
Regenerative capacity, but some of the devastating wounds caused by the high velocity projectiles in combat arena create an extent of muscle damage that cannot be effectively repaired by the body itself. There's not a lot of treatment options for these devastating wounds because they involve such a large amount of muscle. Soldiers have to undergo numerous surgery. The technique that we've come up with for these large injuries is to basically take a scaffold, seed it with muscle progenitor cells, and then as you can see in the bioreactor here, what we're doing is we're actually stretching the scaffolds that contain the muscle cells.
Oxygen to keep damaged tissue alive and promote healing.
What are called particulate oxygen generators, POGs.
Pogs.
The way that we get oxygen into our bodies is that through our lungs, we breathe in the air, and then it's transported along the blood vessels to all of the cells in our body. If those blood vessels, that network of blood vessels, is damaged or destroyed or is non-existent, then what do? Well, that's where the pod technology comes in. It really gives us the means to be able to deliver oxygen right where we need it. What we've done so far is that we've made materials that can actually generate the oxygen. We have been able to put this on the cells, and we've been able to show that those cells can survive even when they don't have normally enough oxygen to survive. We've also preclinically seen how the POGs can improve in wound healing and how they can improve the outcomes of skin fight.
Truly some of the best people working in the field coming together, focused on bringing these technologies for wounded warriors has been a major advantage of this effort.
First penis transplant was attempted in 2005, but it failed and the organ had to be removed after a couple of weeks. In late 2014, a team at Tyburg Hospital in South Africa, Cape Town, successfully did transplant a donor penis to a 21-year-old male who lost his following complications of a failed circumcision. Oh, God. That really bothers me, the failed circumcision stuff. Like, just even the suggestion of it. Johns Hopkins officials hope the groundbreaking surgery will allow some service members to regain sexual function and even father children. They've successfully transplanted vaginas grown from patients' own cells into women born with birth defects and engineered functional ovaries in labs. Sperm harvesting, regenerative medicine. I don't know. It's a fascinating article. It's a little bit difficult to read if you're squeamish about sexual injuries, which I am. I didn't realize I was everybody I think is squeamish about certain injuries in certain contexts and so on, but when it comes to sexual genitalia injuries, it's like, yeah, I really don't like to hear that. Let's talk about robots. I love robots. I want an Osimo robot. We may watch the Osimo thing later on in the show here, but here's a robot. Black and white robot stopped, and its eyes, two small red lights, suddenly lit up, and it kicked the ball. Robot is Chinese. The processor is made in Ethiopia. A student developed it, and within a few months we will organize the first national football competition between robots in the same vein as the International Robo Cup tournament. So yeah, they're going to be playing a robot soccer. And anybody who remembers Night Court knows this is a funny joke, but maybe it's not that. They did an episode that was like space, news radio in space, a really bizarre episode that was at the end of one of the seasons. And yeah, Joe, the repairman, the electrician, comes out of the stasis unit and asks immediately, who won the World Series? And she's like, which one? It's been 60 years since you were last awake. He's like, well, who won all the World Series? He's like, okay. In 2020, it was the Jets. In 2030, it was, Diamondbacks, whatever. And then 2031, robots. So the robot team suddenly were the only winners on the list from a certain point forward. Robots are actually playing soccer now, folks. So it's not all that outlandish or crazy. Last story I wanted to bring to you was that one, wasn't it? Didn't I have one more? Didn't I have one more? Sebastian? Let me see. I did a whole lot of, writing for it. We talked about the X-Files. I can't really talk about the X-Files until tomorrow because the X-Files doesn't air until tonight. Talked about my SoundShine speakers and my Samsung goggles. Talked about the deep learning, the Ethiopian robots. We've done everything I wanted to do in nerd news fashion. So maybe the fact that we were late and this has kind of been a bad show isn't. Maybe it was not going to be that good of a show in the first place, and I overestimated. But boy, do we have a lot of good stuff tomorrow. Tomorrow we have Game Show Tuesday at exactly midnight West Coast time and exactly 0800 GMT on Tuesday. Game Show Tuesday will kick off. And it will play for 24 hours on the channel that we will show you tomorrow night. If you want a clue, go back to last Game Show Tuesday. But we're definitely going to be doing 24 hours of all of my Game Show Tuesday communiques to you from here until the point when I started doing it. Turns out they add up, and some of them are actually really good. And even I don't remember making all of them, but I do remember. I do watch them, even if I don't remember making them. And go, oh God, this is. I like this. I think this is a good. I would watch this even if it weren't me on it, kind of a thing. God damn it, I do like myself. I'm kind of running out of steam. We're super late. I kind of fucked everything up tonight, so I've done all the stories I want. I think I'm going to call it a night. As always, text me at this phone number. Tweet me at Sebastian Kuntz. I didn't put my Twitter thing up tonight, but that's okay. And as always, join me midnight West Coast time, 0800 GMT, or cBas After Dark. Now I'm going to go back to my goggles.